I ain't feared or scared of nothing. Ain't nothing going on. I'm very happy
Okay.
because what I shared on this podcast almost 2 sessions ago, which makes it close to a month ago, was that what they were doing in the Caribbean Sea was illegal.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
told y'all that back then.
Yeah.
Everybody's hollering about it's illegal. It's a war crime.
You're right. You're right. You sure did. Yes, sir. You jokers, man.
I told you it was for the oil. They messing with Venezuela for oil.
Yeah. So what you think? Think he gonna try to go on up in there or what?
Well, I don't know what to think about it, except that unless the public raises $400 worth of Hades, they'll do what they want to do. Uh, unless he gets a really bad public reaction, and you can talk about how bad Maduro is as a dictator and what he's doing to the people. But what about other dictators around the world? You down in Venezuela talking about you gonna stopping the drug trafficking, yet you pardon the president of Honduras,
Right.
who had been convicted and in prison in the U.S.
Yeah.
for moving hundreds of tons of drugs into the U.S. So,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. I'm gonna tell you.
I like that. I like that jersey you have on.
Oh,
Carolina.
that right?
Yeah,
You
Carolina Panthers.
you a Panther fan?
No, I just like the jersey. That's Charlotte, man. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, I was a diehard Redskin fan, so they changed the name to Commanders. Now I'm not a fan. The team, one of the teams I like the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh yeah, they like Chiefs
Uh,
too.
I like what the Chicago Bears are doing now, man. I'm surprised. They tried to knock Homeboy at first, and he seems to be when they give him some good plays. He got a good coach in there, uh, and so he seems to be doing better. Then I was a little disappointed. I heard about Deshaun Watson, who gone to Cleveland, got all that money. He's broke up, man. He won't be in there. They doubt if he'll be in there even next year.
Is that right?
They say he had all these things done to him. Maybe he should have stayed out of them massage parlors.
Lord have mercy.
I don't know. But the team that's most disappointing to me right now, other than the Commanders, but I knew the Commanders. They had Jaden Daniel. And once teams see how he plays and lock in on him, then he can't do a lot of that stuff. And plus, they're gonna see how strong he is. He ain't no Big Ben Roethlisberger, who can take a lot of hits,
Right.
So he had to be very careful, and teams was squaring in on him. But it bothers me about what the Ravens have been unable to accomplish.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Ravens.
Yeah. They
Hey, Bobby
well,
Jones,
yeah, Mr. Jones, how you doing, Bob?
Going on?
All right.
you are.
Well,
I
the
hope
Ravens,
so.
the Ravens
hope so.
6-6, man.
Yeah, but they got a rough road ahead of them, man. Uh, What was that team that had the Cowboys down by 21? Oh, that's the Eagles. Oh, yeah. I know some
Well,
people that Dover had a lot of Eagles fans up there.
Yeah,
yeah.
it's been real quiet around this area.
Well, the Eagles, they what they tracking, man?
And it
Uh,
ain't that ain't
eight
the
and
part.
four.
They
Eight.
hurt because they lost 2 games back to back. You
Mm-hmm.
know, Eagle fans feel like they ain't supposed to lose. We gonna have we gonna have a couple of them on here, so I'm gonna leave that alone.
We'll have a couple of Eagle fans tonight, you think?
Yeah,
Okay. Well, they better come on in now.
yeah. Tony should be coming in. He a big Eagle fan.
Mm-hmm.
I
Mm-hmm.
got Tony Mars coming on.
Anthony Martin.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
Well, but that's the guy that you sent me,
he
Bobby.
go he go big Eagle fan coming on right now.
What's up,
Yeah.
fellas?
Yeah, there he is.
Yeah,
I put my background up just for Smitty.
just
I
for just
did,
Just
for
cause he
man. You had a
just,
good one last week.
just said what Smitty?
You had a good one last week. Y'all did all right,
Oh yeah, man. Well they cardiac, man. You can't depend on them.
man. What you
Don't
talking?
don't don't bet no money on them. I can tell you that.
Listen, just same thing with mine. Just when you think that you know we're gonna do good, we do bad, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
This is who we are.
Yes, sir. Don't put no money on them jokers, boy. I can tell you that. Yeah. Bill, I've been talking. Well, yeah, I talked to a friend of yours, man, John Dyer.
Dye is like a brother to me, man. He was the first black student in a class where I was instructing in T-37s.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm.
Yeah.
then he graduated and came back. I was the first black T-37 instructor at Reese Air Force Base, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
And he was the first black T-38 instructor at Reese Air Force Base, Texas. And
Mm-hmm.
he's from North Carolina A&T. He made a recruiting film called Drift Away, and he was
Mm-hmm.
on a lot of recruiting posters. Because back in those days, they had a young brother from North Carolina A&T named Reed, who they had in the Ebony magazine, but they had him up there as a student. So
Okay.
I knew the guy who was in charge of at the Pentagon, who was in charge of equal opportunity. So I called him up and I asked him, I said, look, it ain't enough to have a student on there. We need a pilot on there. We
Mm-hmm.
need a picture of a pilot. So he laughed at me and he said, well, you trying to get in a recruiting poster, Bill? I said, no. I said, no, I'm too short. You need somebody who's a little taller and more photogenic than me. So
Mm-hmm.
they got Cato Reeves, who's from North Carolina A&T, and they got John Dyer, and they had them in posters. Cato passed away. Cato was a beautiful cat, man.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he was Chappie James A. Uh,
Okay.
and the brother John Dyer, he just got nominated for the Texas Aviation Hall of Fame.
Oh wow.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
John Dyer, man, John Dyer came back as instructor, built his house next to mine in Texas.
Oh, is that right?
So yeah, oh man, yeah. So me and him, John and I went to China together.
Wow.
Okay.
We were over in China together, man. We were in Australia together. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
he put me on the ride free thing to go on United. That's how I got to go to Australia because of John Dye. He's
Okay.
like a brother to me, man. You
Yeah.
know,
I did a pre-interview with him last week. He's agreed to
I,
come on and talk to me, but like I said, I got to get Smitty and Ron in first,
Okay.
and then I got to you guys know who the first Black Air Force female pilot was? You ever heard of her?
my
Young
fact,
lady,
it was just something in I think I
young
no
just
lady
sent
named
sir.
about her.
Teresa Claiborne.
Yeah,
Yeah.
didn't I just send
She,
something about her.
no.
I knew some of those. I knew one of the first black female navigator.
Uh-huh. Well, she's the first black female pilot in the Air Force. So I reached out to her. I want to talk to her. She hasn't reached back yet. So we'll see what happened on that. But
John
yeah.
said he would talk with you.
Yeah, he said he talked with me, man. I talked with him about 15 minutes. We talked. He told
Okay.
me he told me a little bit about you, and stuff. I said, because it came across my Facebook feed, and then I saw that you guys were friends on Facebook. He said, "Yeah, yeah, I know Bill. Yeah." He told me a little bit, a little bit. He didn't say too much about you, but he told me that yeah, he knew you, and I think you instructed him, from what I'm gathering.
No.
You was his instructor. Well, he said you was his mentor. I put it that way.
Well, yeah, he and I did a lot of work together
Mm-hmm.
uh, to try to graduate
Mm-hmm.
uh, more black pilots. Another person that was instrumental in that with me was a guy named Hank Taylor, who lives down in in Florida. No, not in Florida, Atlanta, Georgia. Lives in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
And then another one of my young tigers is a guy in San Antonio named Calvin Allen.
Mm-hmm.
He's an academy graduate. He flew C9s with me, man. And then he went
Okay.
on to fly for Delta, and
Mm-hmm.
he started up a program of having Delta expose young children of color, minorities, to the flying business.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
John did that. So it was I was very fortunate because I met a lot of young brothers uh, who went on to, even though they went commercial, they did some things to try to uh, help young blacks uh, be interested in aviation.
Mm-hmm.
And they did some things to start something called OBAP. I tease them about that's Organization of Black Airline Pilots or something like that. I told them, yeah, well, the white folks are taking that over.
Mm-hmm.
I got with the Leonard's like, no, but the brothers, they were soldiers now.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah.
uh, Back in those days, man, um we had when I first came back to be an IP from Vietnam, in the whole ATC um, training thing, UPT training program, there were about 9 black instructor pilots in undergraduate pilot training.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I used to know the bases where you could find them at. Is Willie, Reese, Webb down in Big Spring,
Mm-hmm.
Laredo, Moody, Summit Moody, Vance. And we used to know all each other. Sometimes we run into problems, we call each other.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and and 3 of us got involved in social actions. That's how I got involved in social actions.
Okay.
Oh, that's a
Okay.
story, man. That's a
Mm-hmm.
story. Cato Reeves saved me uh,
Mm-hmm.
uh, because he was a captain. I think that I don't know if I'd made captain then when I said these things.
Mm.
Uh, uh, I might have been a first lieutenant that kind of knew. And Cato, I said something and I didn't know that the ATC commander was listening to what we said. It was being recorded and it was played back. And he and the ATC commander almost blew a fuse when he heard what I said.
Well, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And Cato took up for me. Cato told him, well, he was just saying what one of the people that came to him said. He was
Mm-hmm.
just trying to express to us that it's important to listen to people who come to us with a equal opportunity complaint to listen to them, or some kind of complaint for social actions to listen to them. We used to be in the habit. The first thing was go to see the chaplain.
Mm.
I don't care, the dude might have come to see us to see, uh, uh, I don't know what, but I don't care what the problem was. Go see the chaplain. Well,
Mm.
this one kid went to see the chaplain. He came back and said, "F the chaplain." So I was at this conference about social action officers down in Randolph, and somebody mentioned about sending people to the chaplain. I said, "Well, we sent a guy to the chaplain, and he came back and said," and I used the word, and it was played
Mm.
for the
Mm.
commander ATC, and he said, "Where'd you get him from?" Um, so
Mm.
so that's the way it was back. Uh, I, I never shared that with you on the podcast or with you when I was at Dover, but
Mm.
I was one of the earliest people to get involved in social actions in the Air Force.
Wow.
Uh, uh, and my primary reason for doing it was my enlisted experience didn't go so well. And the PAS at Howard University, before he allowed me in the advanced ROTC program, asked me why I wanted to go back as a commissioned officer.
Mm.
Because I told him that my experience had enlisted that there was no culturing done of young blacks to acculturate them to the military environment, that we let them grow up as weeds and then we chopped them out with 3910s.
Oh,
Mm.
yep.
So we kicked them out, and I told him that could have happened to me, and I won't go into all the details. You know more about my
Mm.
enlisted time that I would freely share,
Mm.
and I didn't want to see that happen to anybody else. And so I told him that I wanted to go in and uh and try to straighten things out. And so that's why he supported me in getting a commission. And
Mm.
I always
Okay.
felt once I got commissioned, I felt that I'd made a promise to this person that I respected a lot, and I needed to do some things to try to make that come true.
Mm.
They're trying to do away with the equal opportunity programs now. This Hexef and his crew they're working hard trying to get rid of those programs. The EOT
because
program, that stuff.
they don't under when you when you when you when you played military and you were military, it's a big difference.
Absolutely.
Hex said Hex said played military. See, he did he wasn't military. He played military, and
Right.
I tell him, I mean, and I remember when I went in the guard, I had to tell a guy that, I said, he used to come with crazy stuff, and I told him one day, I said, listen, man, the difference between me and you is I played in the majors, and you've always been in the minors,
Mm.
and they got mad at me, but I didn't care. And the one thing that happened was, and Kern, you may know, General Spruance, which was a big guy in the guard unit, the air guard side.
Mhm.
He's a fighter pilot, got shot down, all that. So he used to have his house was up there where Biden lived at in Delaware. So every year he would host this party for the officers at the guard unit.
Mhm.
So my first year there, I'm like, so they like, yeah, we got to take these tables and chairs and all this up here, right, for this party. And I'm saying, is it military sponsored? They was like, no. So this is a drill weekend. They said, no. I said, well, I'll be damned if I'm taking them, because if I go up there, some bitch and slip off the truck and break my leg or whatever, How they gonna explain that?
Hmm.
How they gonna explain that? How am I gonna explain that? Because the first thing the military come out and say, well, look, that's not sanctioned by your time.
Right.
They was hot with me. I was like, no, y'all better read the policies and stuff, because we're not supposed to be doing that.
Right.
That is something. If somebody want to volunteer after work, after our drill time and do that, then that's on them. You can't take a military truck and do that. You can't do none of that. This is not a military sanctioned thing. So I ain't gonna tell you his rank, but he was pretty up there. And I told him, I said, listen, man, the difference between me and you is you've always played in the minors and I played in the majors. I mean, that's all I'm saying. And from that point on, I was very well known around there.
Mm. Yeah, I can imagine.
Hey, listen, man. And see, I only got like that because of Chester and Catnip. See, if they didn't teach me everything, then I wouldn't have known. And I'd have been out there. Nah, and I'm being honest about that, right? If I had to learn the right way, right, I would have never been there. And I'd have been that one that went up there and got hurt. But I told him I wasn't going. In the conversation, you can do what you want to do. Ain't that what they talking about now in the military?
Yeah.
Unlawful order?
Yeah.
That's right.
That's exactly what.
Don't do it. I'm not doing it.
Right.
Now y'all can do what y'all want to do to me, but y'all gonna have to prove a whole lot of stuff, because I'm going to the people.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that was a little caveat, but thank you, Colonel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was good.
Hey, listen, you gotta get them.
Which is why I guess you'll never be one of those guys that takes your private jet to go see your girlfriend do it.
Have mercy.
Oh no! You gotta do that every now and then, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Put that on the taxpayer dime.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hold up 1 minute. We got Mac Lynch. Mac.
Hey.
Mac done grew a beard, man. It's been so.
Mac.
Yeah, man. Look, he done grew a beard. It's been so long since we seen him.
Mac said it's Christmas time. He's trying to get his Santa Claus on.
Mac, what happened, man? What you do, man? You got been running Irene around the house and fell on your knee or something, man?
I thought maybe I'd try to compete with you, Ed.
Yeah. Now I want to know how you bust your knee up. Hey, look, Colonel Jordan, I don't know what he claimed. He fell off a bike and had a little bruise on his head the last meeting we had. Now you come up here talking about you hurt your knee. How you hurt your knee, man? Were you running Irene around the house or what? Tell us what happened, man.
No, I walk around the bed, man.
Walking around the bed. Or running. You sure you don't run?
No, I hit my foot on the leg of the bed. Well, I didn't think it was no big deal until things swole up the size of 3 grapefruits.
Good God. Good gosh.
Yeah.
You got him under control now?
Well, no, I just went to the doctor today, man. And he said it's gonna be a while. He said you're gonna be hobbling for a while.
Damn. Good God Almighty. Well, hell getting old, ain't it, man?
It is. You know, you take them damn blood thinners, you hit yourself and you bleed on the inside. You know, I'm bruised terrible.
Oh man.
Yeah, you gotta be careful with that for sure.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad to have you back, man. What's the weather like up there?
Well, we got like 5 or 6 inches of snow yesterday.
Is that right?
So, yeah, it was cold today. But you know, mind you, I ain't been out of the house in like 2 weeks until today.
Jesus. Okay. All right.
Tony said he gonna get on in a couple minutes.
Okay. Yeah, but we're glad to have you back, Mike.
No, I'm glad to be back. I see you guys talking about my favorite buddy.
Old drunk ass Pete.
Yeah.
You think he drinking right about now? Think he done got back in that bottle?
Well, I think he need one.
The stuff he say he got to be drunk. It got to be. I don't care, man. Listen, man. Listen. You got to be drunk to say the stuff he said. I was out when we came on. I had a thing pop up. Say some generals was hollering at Trump today in the meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. So I didn't hear the whole thing, but I put it on hold because I got to hear it. Say the generals was hollering at Trump. I guess he had a meeting with him today or something. Yeah, said they would. I guess they tired. Dude's quitting because he asking them to do stuff that they ain't supposed to do. You know what I mean?
The Black Admiral, he said, "Hell no, I ain't doing this."
Yeah.
And he, by the way, he said that if Congress calls him, he will talk.
Yep.
He said, Congress, if you want to know,
I'll sing like a canary, right?
Yep. He said,
And then so Hegseth is doing this, and he had done this. I guess, like I said, I don't find him to be a true military member. Yeah, he might have wore the uniform, but a whole lot of people wore the uniform that wasn't true military members.
I know
Amen.
that's right.
Amen.
So they had him. This was before he became, I guess, the heart doctor. Talking about how military members should not take illegal orders.
I saw that 2016 when he gave it.
Right. So this is Biden time coming in.
Right.
So he's talking about how you shouldn't take illegal order or any orders that aren't justifiable or whatever.
Right.
So I think I sent it to y'all and I said I guess things truly do change, meaning that his whole he was over here on Monday and now he over here on Tuesday. So I guess things do change. Maybe I could be wrong. I guess because I don't change, but some people do.
What got me was the way he threw that admiral under the bus. As soon as the heat hit him, he went. Well, the admiral is a really great patriot. Blah blah blah. And I agree with all the orders that he gave. I said, man, you know what? You a punk ass. Just like hard pumping Kool-Aid.
Yeah, that was part of the thing they were talking about.
Right.
Because they see how they gonna get tossed under the bus if anything goes south. Right. They ain't gonna take the hit. It's gonna be your fault.
Right. So now they know what they're working with. Now they know exactly what they're working with. And like I said, I'm interested because that 2-star is he's supposed to speak to Congress, I believe, tomorrow. And I'm curious to see because they putting his whole career on the line for that, and he see that ain't nobody got his back. So I'm curious to see what he says because most of those guys, like the one general said, most general officers keep receipts. They ain't just gonna put their career out there.
Oh no, they already know they in that political realm.
Right.
So in order so the hammer don't drop on you, the anvil, whatever. So it don't drop on your head. You gotta make sure you be like, look, Tom, you remember.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you in that political, you get into that political circle when you get to that stage. Nothing against the officer side of the house. That's why I could never do it. And I told them, even in the guard, they tried to get me to go on officer route. And I told them, I said, I can't. They said, why not? They said, you got the leadership skills, this, that, and the other. I said, I can't. They said, why? I said, one, y'all don't have no fun. And two, I'm not a political person.
Right.
So they don't have no fun, Bob.
They don't have no damn fun. I can't go out and laugh with y'all.
Let me
because y'all gonna get tight on me, and then I'm be like, oh damn.
Here
we go. What you say about that, Colonel? Can you got a response to that? They don't have no fun.
Well, it's all is dependent upon how a person looks at it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, the groups I was with had plenty of fun. Uh, it was, I never said that, but my father, when I enlisted in the Air Force, my father told me to tear up the papers and he was going to let me go to Hampton. I said I had to serve enlisted. And he said, boy, you wasting 4 years.
Huh.
And I learned a lot. So I didn't call it a waste of 4 years. But I would have rather started out as a commissioned officer than I would have as a no stripe airman.
Mm.
And there's a simple reason for that. Something that all of us on this phone call learned very early in the military. We might have learned it at basic training. What rolls downhill?
Mm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's true.
That's what we see happening. That's what we see happening now as these pictures are coming out. Is they're sending it down. Well,
Sitting it down. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're right. They doing that, and even
Well,
when they were talking briefly about the My Lai massacre, and who ended up getting crucified was Lieutenant Calley, and there's a whole bunch of folks in the chain of command that gave the order and knew what was being done, but he was the highest, lowest man that they could kill and make the story go away.
mm.
Yeah.
well,
They always say like art imitates life, right? So when you look at movies like what's the movie with Tom Hanks and
Saving Private Ryan.
no
Uh,
the one with not Hanks, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, okay.
You talking
Um,
about Top Gun?
no, the one where he was the lawyer. I
Oh,
can't.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that
Yeah. I
yeah.
can't think of the name of it.
So
Can't handle
with
you
with
can't true.
with my man who flew over the cuckoo's nest, Jack Nicholson.
yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
You can't handle the truth.
Few,
Huh?
Right.
What's that?
a few good men.
Yeah, Mac
Yeah,
Mac
there
said
you
you
go.
can't handle the truth. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
Yeah,
So when you look at that movie and you see how the two people at the bottom took all of the brunt of everything.
yeah.
My man only got in trouble in the courtroom because of the way he acted more than what went on and what happened.
Right,
His actions and the way he presented himself is what got him in trouble.
exactly.
What in the end, it was those two young men that took the blunt of everything where they don't have the choice. They're supposed to follow orders, which
Right.
they did.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what you just said, Smitty and Colonel, that is so true about the military. Is like, that person on the bottom, we got to find somebody who did this.
Right.
About life, but in the military,
Mm-hmm.
it's full picture.
Absolutely. And like what my old chief used to say, he said, the altar's been built, right? And some blood must be spilled to appease the gods.
Mm.
We just figure out who got to die.
Mm. Mm.
But and that whole thing comes down to, it's one thing to follow orders, but it's another to follow orders and know why you're doing it.
Right.
And a lot of people follow orders, but they don't know why the hell they're doing it. And that's why I said I in my military career, I am glad and that they sent me to Dover Air Force Base as my first base.
Mm.
Because I truly learned what I was supposed to be doing. I learned how to do it. and I learned how to maneuver while I was doing it. So that in itself is something that young people don't look at. They go in there and whatever they do, they go do it. Well, nobody's telling you why you're doing it, what the end result's going to be, and how you get to that end result. And that's the whole thing. And we're talking military because all of us are military, but that's in life, and that's what I tell the kids every day in the school. Like there's a beginning and an end. We know that, but everything in the middle, that's the stuff you got to know.
Yes,
that's what you need to be learning, because we already know the beginning and we know the end. But what's in the middle of the book?
Right.
How the real question is, how do you know if an order is illegal?
That is a good question, Colonel. Matter of fact, I used to teach this class for the military, and one of the things that I talked about was one thing about the military is you can be very, very right and very, very wrong at the same time, unfortunately. And I gave the example of there was a wing commander at Dover Air Force Base, and when the anthrax shots first came out, there were batches that a lot of people sick, and a lot of his air crew were getting sick, and they were complaining to the boss. And so what he did was he shut it down at Dover and said, "Well, none of my people on the base are going to take this shot until we get to the bottom of what's wrong with this injection." Right now, what came to find out was there were actual bad batches, and Dover had got some, and it made the air crew sick. Unfortunately, the decision to shut down giving that vaccine to the base was not his call. And the general flew in once he got word that he'd shut down giving out the vaccine, and immediately removed him from command, and his career was over. Now, this gentleman was very, very right in what he did, and history shows and bears out that he was very, very right. But because of the way he did it, he was very, very wrong in the eyes of the military, and he lost his career over that.
That was Grenadier.
I know who you're talking about very well because he was one of my mentees.
Right.
In fact, I played a significant role in him getting the chance to be the wing commander at Dover.
Right.
He and I were very close. We flew C9s together in Scott, and he followed me to Dover for certain reasons. His wife was a nurse who had been an aeromedical nurse. She fought an AVAC, and he made that decision
right
based on a lot of information that he said was right, and he was willing to fall on his sword.
And
sometimes you have to be willing to do that.
Right.
And other people I knew who knew the connection I had with that wing commander, and not as a wing commander, but as a human being. This was a guy, one of my best friends in the military.
And he was a stand-up guy,
but he was going to make the decision on what he thought was the correct thing to do, and if you fired him, he didn't care if he would be fired. I think every commander has to deal with that. When I was a commander of your squad of our squadron, I was asked to do something, and I wrote back wing commander a letter that basically said, I'm going to do this. If you don't like it, fire me. And he didn't fire me, but he did fire me. And later on, I saw him in the Pentagon with 2 stars on his shoulder, and he looked at me and said, "You're still where you were, Bill, aren't you?"
Wow.
Don't pass me. That's what he said.
Mm.
And I kind of smiled, but what he wanted me to do was something that I was unwilling to do. And
Right.
it was because of a complaint that had been put in against uh, a complaint that had been put against a person who I had put in a position to run something in the squadron, and a person under that person didn't think they should be in that position because they thought that they were smarter than that person, and so they claimed that I was discriminating. And they had some people come over and look at the thing and went back and sent me a thing talking about I should do what this person said I ought to do, the person who put in the complaint.
Right.
I said, no, no, no. I said, no, and I can remember the lady who was my secretary. She was shocked when I told her I put this statement in. What I was asked to do would exacerbate rather than ameliorate the situation.
Mm.
And she said, "You're saying it that way?" I told her, "Yeah. I want them to know that they ain't talking to no fool."
Mm.
So I put it in language. Oh, this comes straight out. We ain't playing with no Buster now. No, I
Right.
know. I've been down this road. And so they were upset. I was initially scheduled to go be a research fellow with the American Enterprise Institute,
Oh, wow.
but they shipped me off to MAC headquarters to die as a lieutenant colonel. And people were shocked when I got promoted. One of the guys said, I wasn't up there when he said he he was shocked. I went to get my hair cut, and this guy turned down his promotion and got out of the service because he said they're just promoting anybody.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
But he didn't think I was next up for appointment, that we had this kind of, and I went in there and I was laughing at the barber.
Mm.
I said, well, if he's getting out, he wanted to get out anyway.
Yeah.
I wish him the best.
Mm.
So you come to those kind of decisions of what is illegal and what is it right to do.
Right.
You have to make those decisions based on what you think is best and what will accomplish the mission. And and sometimes you just have to fall on your sword and walk away. Uh, but all I'm saying is make sure if you think the law is illegal, don't follow it. And any commander who's worth his salt is not going to issue a legal order.
Right.
Mm.
Uh, uh, you don't do that.
Right.
Uh, uh, and you can get into big trouble for issuing an illegal order.
And normally, Colonel, don't you guys have like legal resources at your disposal to assist you with making those decisions?
Exactly. You have a lawyer.
Right.
See, but the real thing is not just illegal orders, immoral orders.
Right.
If you think a order is immoral, don't do it, and
Right.
don't ask anybody else to do it.
Mm.
You see what happened? What happened? The reason they have this law about rescuing people at sea is during World War II. Nazi subs, German subs would sink these ships crossing the Atlantic,
Mm-hmm.
and then they would surface and shoot all the survivors and then go down again.
Mm.
And so that's why you have to save people that are lost at sea. You can't do that.
Right.
And And if you do that, that's murder in peacetime. That's why it's really, from my perspective, the military ain't supposed to be out there chasing no drug people.
No, that's definitely
You got the Coast Guard and you got DEA and other people are doing it. And I was very proud to hear General McCaffrey say it's illegal. It
right.
needs to be investigated. It's illegal. If it's a fact that that's what they did is illegal. And we have brother Anthony Morris on. Ask him about it. He was in the Coast Guard. He knows that's illegal. You can't do that.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, let's bring this brother in, Mr. Anthony Morris. I don't know Anthony. How many of you guys know him? Just pull your hand up so I can see.
Listen, that's
Yeah.
AM, baby.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
Smitty, you
call
know
him.
him.
Oh yeah.
Just call him AM.
Anthony, tell us a little bit about you, man. That I don't know you, Mac. I don't. Ron, you know Anthony?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I
Mac.
do,
I
man. That's
think.
my frat brother.
Okay, Mac and I, we don't know you, Anthony. I'm the host. But tell myself and Mac, give us a little intro, man.
Yeah, sorry I'm late. I didn't put it on
That's okay.
my phone. So, but yeah, my name is Anthony Morris. Did 20 years active duty Coast Guard. And retired as a '04 lieutenant commander. Then the Coast Guard hired me back. Uh, I was retired out of San Francisco, and they hired me back, and I did 20 years in Washington D.C. at the headquarters office. At first, we were at uh, uh, got the name of it. Um, anyway, we ended up over at the new building, Homeland Security building that's right on 295.
You talking about St. Elizabeth's, up there at old St. Elizabeth where you are.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, we were one of the first group to move over there to that building. And I think the Secretary of Homeland Security is now over there too now. But anyway, yeah, for the most part, it was a rewarding career. I was in New Orleans for a while where I actually got to qualify in a lot of different things, and basically um, hone my leadership skills because it was a very big unit and we were very busy. So immediately I had like 16 people working underneath me, junior enlisted, and I had a E8 senior chief, and then I had a E7 chief, and then an E6 first class petty officer who worked directly with the people. But that was my first time actually like doing evaluations and things like that. So I got to know the people that I worked with right off the bat. So our mission is a lot different. So we regulated the waterways in the United States, and New Orleans, like I said, was really busy. So we had a whole myriad of vessels that would come up. We were at towards the tail end of that grain deal that Carter did back in the day with the Russians. And so they were finishing up that contract. And that was my first exposure to working directly with the Navy because one of the big things they did was set up shop on the levees there and take pictures for the antenna arrays for those cargo vessels that would come upriver. And as it turned out, it's kind of weird, but we actually got one vessel that had intelligence gathering antenna array. And I was kind of involved in that. I had the watch at the time, and I was called from one of my petty officers. He says, "Hey, Mr. M, something's not right." So he kind of described it, and that triggered a whole series of phone calls and the naval support activity in New Orleans on the East Bank got involved, and they sent over Coast Guard intelligence, naval intelligence, and sure enough, there was a couple of false bulkheads, and they were collecting intelligence. What they were collecting, I'm not sure what they really were gaining off that information, but that ended up being a big score for us. And I got actually got recognized accommodation medal for that. So it's kind of interesting how it all folded. So, but so that's a little bit about background. San Francisco. I guess the biggest event for me there was 9/11, and that was an eye opener. I guess the biggest thing that I learned from that is because when we went through officers training school, the captain of the port has all this authority. So you think, we'll never use that. Who's going to be stupid enough to attack us?
Right.
And it happened. I'm like, oh my God. So we were lucky in San Francisco, we had a vessel traffic service and they had long range communications. They basically told the ships, slow down, you're not getting in. So we had to ramp up, and that was that time I had to go requalify with the 9mm, and we did armed boardings, everything that came in. I was like, are you kidding me? You know, and at that time I'm like, man, I don't want to shoot anybody. I want to get out, man. So but long story short, yeah, we did our duty, and it was an eye opener. I was like, wow, we really can do this. You know, it was just like they stopped everything. They shut the airports down. Not a ship came through. They just dropped anchor where they were, and we boarded every single one. And they said once we got clearance, they can go. They came into the port. I was amazed by that. I was like, wow, this is crazy.
Okay.
So that's my background. Then I retired and I became a regular guy.
Regular guy. Okay. Well, we're glad to have you, man. Mac, you want to tell him a little bit about you, Mac? Then he don't know you and myself here.
Well, I guess basically I'm the I guess I'm the black sheep of this group. I was just an administrative guy. So, you know, I spent 26 years in the Air Force, running from that tobacco stalk down in North Carolina. But I guess about the most significant thing, I was in the Pentagon, and this was way early in the networking industry, and I was a junior guy. I was a tech sergeant, okay, and I had two high-ranking civilians, SES types, a couple of Navy captains, and a couple of colonels, and one lone Air Force captain. And when they brought in the new network, they needed somebody that could be disposed of easily. So they put me. You know how it goes. You know, who can we lay the blame on when something goes wrong?
There it is.
So, you know, I was a network administrator. I mean, we talking early days. I don't know if you guys know about hardwired in and out. Hardwired. I mean, I had a 16 workstation. And anyway, that got me into what eventually, when I got out of the Air Force, I didn't want nothing to do with a computer, because everywhere I went in the Air Force, they said, you saw a computer somewhere. Well, you know, so there you go. But I couldn't get away from it. Finally, I just accepted it and got another job in the FDIC. You know, but I did a year in Vietnam, Da Nang. But Air Force life in Vietnam was easy when you compare it to other life. So,
Right.
and that's it in a nutshell.
Well, like I say, Anthony, I'm the host of this thing here that I kicked off about a year ago.